Well, it's a Thursday, and this is where UEFA Europa League football returns, and I think today we are obviously going to come in through and end up the day with the match preview of Arsenal hosting Sheffield at the Emirates. Who is fit? Who is unfit? Obviously, it's what we're going to be discussing and so much more. Remember, this weekend there is what we call the Manchester Derby. Hope you guys obviously going to enjoy it to the fullest. Rokani David remains my name, and I hope you guys are really having a fantastic stay from everywhere you are. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, it's really great that we are having stories coming in from Arsenal as Thomas Partey injured again, and there is another story concerning Conor Gallagher coming in from Chelsea. Looks like Chelsea are really willing to let him go as there are no contract extensions that are really ongoing on at the club of Chelsea. And lastly, we are going to talk about Darwin Nunez on how Jurgen Klopp sees him at Liverpool and how and where his future stands at the club. So, smash the like button close to how many times? Close to 200 times, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, let's get started off with Thomas Partey. The Football London News has gone ahead to give us a little bit of a lengthy article about Thomas Partey, and they told us that Thomas Partey missed out on Arsenal's matchday squad for the UEFA Champions League clash against Sevilla due to a muscle injury. Partey missed several weeks earlier this season due to a groin issue before returning to action against Manchester City earlier this month. It's understood that the former Atletico Madrid star picked up a thigh injury in training on Monday. A club statement read, Thomas Partey misses out on tonight's game with a muscle issue. Now, this is where you really get to know that the injury proneness of Thomas Partey is really going from bad to worse. Remember, he had spent some time without playing for Arsenal, you all know that. And having spent that time without playing for Arsenal, he returned and he went to play for the Ghanaian national team, right? After playing for the Ghanaian national team, as he really got 20 minutes against Man City, he played those two games, and when returned for Arsenal, they had to play, I think, against Chelsea. Not so. They had to play against Chelsea, and he never took part in that game of football. And even in the game of Sevilla, he never really took part. And what does that show you? It shows you that he has gone ahead to play only 20 minutes ever since he returned and has gone ahead to get injured. Now, big questions are obviously going to raise in the dressing room of Arsenal that what should the next move be for this guy? That is the most important bit of it all, because you can't be a big club like Arsenal when you are really having a player who is really injury prone like Thomas Partey, and he's earning huge amounts of money. You know, the amounts of money that you earn should be in line or should resonate with the games of football that you play. Thomas Partey came in at Arsenal when they're not in the Champions League, and he was earning £200,000 a week, meaning that in his clause, if Arsenal qualified for the Champions League, Thomas Partey was supposed to get what we call an increment. Not so? That is written all over, and it's known world over, that if a team doesn't go to the Champions League, the players take pay cuts like of 25%. And if the team qualifies for the Champions League, there is a pay increase of 25%. Now, why does that happen? Teams that have sponsorship deals obviously crack or struck deals with this sponsorship with these partners, and it's on performance-based terms. Now, for example, the team I support of Man United, I want to really give you an example that really resonates with me. Manchester United, before this new deal they signed, if they never qualified for the Champions League, they got £40 million. from Adidas, kit sponsorship deal. If they qualify for the Champions League, they would get 70 million, and they've gone ahead to renew this contract. Now they are earning 90 million pounds per season. That is Man United. If they don't qualify for the Champions League, they'll be getting 60 million pounds. And if they don't qualify for the Champions League for two consecutive years, it goes to like 40 million pounds. So that resonates with a reason as to why these teams go ahead and obviously give these terms to the players. Now, Thomas Partey, if he came in through earning 200,000 pounds a week, let's assume that there is a 25 increment every time Arsenal goes to the Champions League. That means 25% of 200,000 is 40,000 pounds. Not so? So that means he's now at 240,000 pounds a week because of Arsenal playing in the Champions League. But he is missing in action, and he's one of the highly paid players at Arsenal, and Arsenal should find means obviously throwing him under the bus, because you can't be earning 240,000 pounds a week and not play games at the club of Arsenal. Even when you return, it takes a flash or it takes a second for you to get back. Then you are not going to be really competitive, because the manager of Arsenal really told us that if any player wants to be a top player, what does he have to do? He has to be able to play 3 games a week. Can Thomas Partey do that? No. And the most worrying thing of it all is that even when he found himself in a situation where Arsenal had to really get to where they are in terms of really resting him, the player continued to obviously get injured. Having played only 20 minutes, he found himself getting a muscle injury. That is Thomas Partey for you, and it looks like Arsenal might be finding a decision for him. And I think before the end of this week, we'll get a story about whether Thomas Partey is still in the plans of Mikel Arteta, or Arteta is really planning to throw him under the bus. So that is Thomas Partey for you. Injury blow. He joins Gabriel Jesus after that. But they are calling it simple. As I told you in the story of Gabriel Jesus, that an injury might be called simple, but it having been called simple just doesn't mean that it's obviously going to come in through and obviously look simple like that. In terms of treatment, it might keep him out for some more weeks. That is it coming in from Thomas Partey. And let's continue to another story of Conor Gallagher coming in from Chelsea. Another midfielder coming in from Chelsea, having really huge problems. Now, Chelsea has gone ahead to confirm to us that this is Liam Twomney, and he's a Chelsea correspondent for The Athletic. He has told us that there are no contract talks between Chelsea and Conor Gallagher at the moment. He's still set to become a free agent at the end of the next season, and will almost certainly be the subject of fresh transfer interest in January if no significant progress is made on a new contract between now and then. Now, when you look at Conor Gallagher, you'll understand that he's one of those players that West Ham wanted to sign. They made, was it a £30 million bid, and it was rejected by Chelsea because Chelsea called in for more, and that more was 40. I think they made a £40 million bid, and Chelsea valued him at 50, and they really believe that he shouldn't be part of the structure of Chelsea, however much he's an academy grown, and they should cash in for the player. Obviously, I believe that's the right decision to make for them, because if you're really good at what you're doing, and you know exactly what is going to happen in the game of football and what your opponents are really having, then Conor Gallagher shouldn't be part of your plans, because he's nowhere near a Chelsea player. He's good for West Ham. He's good maybe for Crystal Palace and those teams below average, that are bang average teams. But if you're talking about elite teams like Chelsea, they need to be having players that really switch into that ilk, all fit to that ilk of Chelsea. Caicedo, Romeo, Lavia, Enzo Fernandez. That's the midfield that Chelsea should be having, and I think they will sell him the January transfer window and obviously get in an elite midfielder, especially in the central attacking midfield position, because those three, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Lavia, can share that double pivot. Any of those can play as a single pivot, and the other one can play as a number 8, or they can form a very beautiful double pivot. Any of the three, the pair you choose can obviously take you to the dream world. That is it. So that's all about Conor Gallagher, and I think it's high time he parted ways with Chelsea. Now, let's talk Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez is the future at Liverpool, and the club will not spend big on a centre forward anytime soon. So, Darwin Nunez is a striker that was bought for close to 88 million euros from Benfica to the side of Liverpool. Very many teams like Man United were interested in signing Darwin Nunez, but they're not given a chance to sign him because Liverpool came in with a very high G. And remember, by then, Liverpool had just gone ahead to play in the Champions League finale, and that was a huge attraction for Darwin Nunez to go that side. And you cannot even downplay the efforts of Liverpool, having people that are really competent at the job when it comes to obviously signing players and negotiating prices down. So Darwin Nunez is really firing up everything, and I think it's a matter of time for him to obviously hit the ground running. And when you look at his stats last season, they are not disappointing, because for a player having his first season into the Premier League, all at Liverpool, and he scores 9 goals in the Premier League with 3 assists, those are 12 goal involvements. Then in the Champions League, he had 4 goals, right? Community Shield, he had 1 goal. Those are 5 plus 9. Those are 14. He scored close to 15 goals a season and put up some good assists. So I think that was a good start of him, though people believe that was going to hit the ground like Haaland because they came in through at the same time. But I think the style of play of Liverpool best doesn't really suit the hitting the ground all immediate performances from Darwin Nunez. That is it. So for Darwin Nunez, it's obviously known that he's really a very good centre forward, and you've seen him this season. He's really firing up all cylinders, and he has 3 goals and 3 assists in 8 Premier League games. So that is not bad. 6 goal involvements in 8 games. You see, he's really going to get there, and I really believe that he's the right man to obviously take Liverpool to where they deserve to be. But even their creativity should really increase, because Salah and Luis Diaz need to obviously take them to where they deserve to be. So guys, your thoughts on to Thomas Partey injury blow joining Gabriel Jesus are welcome in the comment section below. There might be doubts as Arsenal takes on Sheffield over the weekend. What do you make about it? What do you make about Conor Gallagher? Should Chelsea give him a new contract, or they should sell him off? And lastly, what are your thoughts about Darwin Nunez? Liverpool revealing their stance onto Darwin Nunez. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. May the living to God bless you abundantly. I sign out for now. See you later. Bye-bye.